The 2-1. Lindor towards right center field. This one is back. It is gone! Grand slam! And Lindor puts the Mets on top. The biggest swing of the season for New York.
3-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Towns from 3. It's gone! Karl Anthony Towns with the dagger. 3-point field goal.
Knicks regain their composure. Towns, deep 3-ball with the switch.
What up, everybody? What's going on, man? It is your host, David, and I am back with another video represented by Top Bunk Sports, man. And I just wanted to, kind of get back into the groove of things. Happy Saturday, I should say, as I will be posting this video today. So I just want to say that. But we got two important things to get to. As you can see with the new setup that you see here, I got things on my right hand side. So there's a list of the objectives we're going to talk about. But before I get to that, I want to give a special shout out to my two hosts on the 7 Express podcast, Chris Torres and AP from Queens Baseball Space. Man, we did a hell of a job yesterday going through some of the Mets all-time classics and franchise history, and it was a dope video. It went 2 hours, but that's the fun of content creating and kind of getting things on the fly. It was a live, so we had over 230 people in there. We went off, man. So that was fun. So I just want to give them a shout out. And as you see in the bottom right here, tune in and follow 7 Express podcast on X, Instagram, YouTube. That's where all our content will be up. So man, just give us a follow and like, share, comment, and subscribe, man, because we would definitely appreciate that. But enough with that. Let's get into the nitty and gritty of things, man. The first thing that I want to talk about is a new issue with I say issue on however you want to take it, but a new issue with Pete Alonso. So Jim Duquette from SNY and obviously former GM said, according to league sources, Pete Alonso's camp has offered the Mets a 3-year deal with opt-outs. The deal is only available to the Mets right now. No deal known to be close at the moment, and Alonso's agent Scott Boras declined to comment. We'll have more, whatever. So this is interesting to me because with everything going on with Pete Alonso and how everything plays a part and all that, Pete, to me, it's kind of a situation like when you look at it from a standpoint of Pete Alonso, not understanding his market, and that's been my gripe since this whole thing about him declining that 3-year $90 million offer came out. His market is not what people think it is. So when your market is not where it's at, and you're not understanding that, right? It to me, I look at it from a standpoint of at some point, what are you gonna do now? If I'm Pete Alonso, right, I'm not going in there saying, yo, I want this to ride all the way to February or all the way to March or whatever. I want to have myself a sustainable contract before spring training. I want to go into spring training with a team already, get my reps in spring training, and be set. The thing is, teams are not budging at Pete Alonso like this. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's looking like Pete Alonso is not that number one guy that everybody's going for. I mean, you saw first basemen like Paul Goldschmidt already signed, Carlos Santana already signed, Christian Walker already signed. Like Pete Alonso, from what in my opinion, I think Scott Boras looked at it from a standpoint of he's looking at Pete like, dude, you're the top guy. You're the one in your prime right now. Everybody's gonna follow your lead. So when you sign, everybody else is gonna sign. Don't worry about it. When it was the other way around, right? It's the other way around. So now you're looking at it from a standpoint of like, dude, what are you really waiting for? Like, you're not gonna get the deal that you expect. And this is why a lot of Met fans tend to turn back, because they're like, yo, there's a lot of flaws in your game right now that don't warrant you to go ahead and get yourself a 6-year deal, 30 mil a year. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. That's what a lot of Met fans, including myself, feel. Now, there are also Met fans on the other side of it where they're like, he's a homegrown player, he's a solid defender, and he's one of the best home run hitters in the game today. Give that man whatever he wants. Cool. I would question those fans and I would ask them, if you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna give Pete Alonso whatever he wants, and then he performs worse than he did last year, right? Or worse than what he did in 2023. Are you okay with that? Like, is that something that because my thing is this, like, I don't like to spin the block, but I always say, those people that are clamoring for Pete to get whatever he wants, don't be sucking your teeth when he starts swinging at bad pitches outside the zone. Don't be sucking your teeth when the inconsistencies come in and he can't deliver with runners in scoring position. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be getting upset because you wanted this brother to go get whatever he wants. There's a reason why teams are not budging to sign Alonso right now. And it's because they're looking at certain flaws in his game defensively, his inconsistency at the plate, the fact that when it comes to his approach at the plate, he doesn't not that he doesn't look confident, but it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll give you a game where he goes 3 for 4, but then the next 2 or 3 games he's cold. You know what I'm saying? I know that's baseball, that's how things work, but it's happened a lot with Alonso the year prior, the year before last year, and last year. So you got to say to yourself, like, are they really going to go ahead and budge and try to go give this man what he wants? And I personally don't think they will. Do I think that they would? I think that they will come to an agreement. Do I want that? Yes, I do want that. Do I think they'll come into an agreement? I think they will. But I don't think that they want to give him more money than what they previously offered. I think the years is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they have come into an agreement within the amount of years. I think if 3 years sounds like a fair deal, we'll take it. But I think money wise, I don't think they think he's worth what Pete Alonso thinks he's worth. Now, it's funny that when this article came out and Jim Duquette put that out, I was always telling my buddies in our group chat, yo, don't you find it hilarious that only the amount of years came out and not the money? Don't you find it funny that Scott Boras tends to decline? Like, he didn't make no funny rhyme about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just didn't, he just declined it. And then the funny thing too is, shout out to Will Salmon, the GOAT. He confirmed that this report is true. So if he's confirming that this report is true, that tells you that tells you everything you need to know, is that they did offer the Mets something. Pete Alonso countered and went back. I find it a bit weird that the amount of money is not out right now. So that's certainly something that I think everybody should be looking into. Keep your nose into the situation. Like I said, I don't see this going into the end of February, March. I think Pete Alonso wants to have himself a deal before he goes into spring training, so he knows where he's going, and he's given that he doesn't want this to carry over like a Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery type of situation. He wants this to play in his favor, to end this early, and for this to be locked in before spring training starts. Now, of course, I'm not saying that with full intentions that I've spoken to the man. I don't know Pete Alonso. I don't know Pete Alonso from can of paint. I just know that he's the first baseman for the team that I love, and I've seen this brother grow from the minor leagues up until now. You know what I'm saying? But I never had a private conversation with Pete Alonso. I've never had a text exchange or a phone call with Pete Alonso. My assumption is that based on what he has said about the organization and about wanting to be back, I'm sure that he wants to lock this thing up and come back and be ready for spring training with a deal that's already locked in. Whether it's 3 years, 6 years, he wants to have a deal in place so that way he can go and he can be like, yo, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do what I got to do, and I want to get this locked in. So we'll see, man. It'll be pretty interesting. I think at the end of the day, Pete Alonso goes ahead and comes back to the Mets. I think it's on a 3-year deal. Money-wise, I can't really tell you because it is confusing. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're doing in terms of that. I think if you look at it, like I said, if you look at it from a standpoint of them wanting to go ahead and lock this thing up early, cool. I think they're like, yo, we're offering you guys a deal to match with me and let's get this on the road. I think the Mets are like, we were cool with the 3 year, but the amount of money that you want, we're not cool with that. And I think that's where things play in. And everybody knows who Scott Boras is and how he plays his ways, man. He makes sure that his clients get paid, man. And we've seen that. I mean, fucking Taiwan Walker, who I didn't think was worth 72 fucking million, got for a 4 year, $72 million contract. Was nowhere near that. Like he didn't prove anything when he was with us. I'm sorry. And again, when we got him in 2021, I liked him. I thought it was a good pick. But it just, I don't think he did anything to be like, yeah, he's worth, he's worth 72 million. But hey, that's the league right now, and that's Scott Boras. But I hope Pete Alonso's back, man, and I hope he does get this thing done by the end of the month or the beginning of February, man. Let's not go into spring training and you're still not here, man. Let's get this show on the fucking roll. But enough of that. Let's get into some unfortunates in New York City basketball. The New York Knicks played the Oklahoma City Thunder on Friday, man, and it was tough to say the least. The New York Knicks really are really having a hard time beating teams that are over 500. The Knicks right now, and again, I'm not crashing out. I'm not going full on fucking berserk, right? I think the Knicks are fine. But there are certain conversations that are being had right now within the Knicks community about Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson is a small point guard. Jalen Brunson, I've heard, is a 6-man with privileges, right? Here's my thing with this, right? And I've also heard that Jalen Brunson should be traded for De'Aaron Fox, right? Now, granted, as much as people don't want to hear that, De'Aaron Fox is a really good point guard. He's not a scoring threat like Jalen Brunson, but this guy's IQ is. I've watched a lot of Kings basketball. His IQ is as a point guard is really interesting. And I think he would be I think it would be in a great position if the Knicks were to trade Jalen Brunson. I don't think they will, but if they were to be like, yo, let's take this risk right now. Let's go trade Jalen Brunson. Let's go get De'Aaron Fox. I think it would be almost on the same level. The only thing that you're missing is scoring from your point guard. My issue with that is this. Jalen Brunson, yes, does he have issues with guys that are with defenders that are bigger than him? Absolutely. It's been happening all year, right? But Jalen Brunson has learned to make adjustments with that. Jalen Brunson has been able to share the ball at times, been able to create ball movement, let everything space out, control the pace of the game to his advantage and into the advantages of his team. When Jalen Brunson, before he came to the Knicks, Jalen Brunson wasn't the number one option. Luka was. Jalen Brunson was a shooting guard on your team, and he was a scoring threat. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't scoring that much because Luka was on his team, right? So now that you got the rings, and now that you got the keys, and you're the captain or whatever, he's scoring more. Like his percentages from scoring in Dallas to him scoring now are way higher. The thing with the Knicks and Jalen Brunson is it's more about guys trying to score for themselves. You don't see the ball movement is dry. When there's ball movement in the game, it's more of a surprise than something that you'd be like, yeah, I'm expecting that. Because a lot of the times these guys are scoring driven. These aren't guys that are really trying to share the ball that much. I want to bring up something that's very interesting. And the reason why I mentioned Jalen Brunson in the beginning was because he's the leader, he's the captain, he's the one that controls everything. So he's the Chris Paul of the New York Knicks. I want to bring something that another player said within Josh Hart, who is a facilitator as well, he can score, but he gets guys and he finds guys in spots really well. He said something after yesterday's game against OKC that really, really drew, like, it opened my eyes to what he said. I'm gonna play that for you because I think it's very important because it kind of tells us what the vibe is in the locker room right now. Let's hear it. Let's hear
You know, we got to make sure we are um, focused. We give off the right energy. We can't have our own individual agendas. Can't do any of that. We got to make sure we're locked in on this team, sacrificing for this team, um, and go out there and play. Go out there and execute at a high level. You have to go out there with energy. You have to go out there with no egos. You have to go out there with no individual agendas. You have to go out there and sacrifice. I think that's the biggest thing. We're a new group. We're still learning and still figuring it out. But we can't expect to just have talent and go out there and win games. We got to lock in and compete. I think we lost the game because we came out and didn't do anything we were supposed to do. Like I said, we didn't come out with energy. We didn't come out to execute. We didn't come out, willing to sacrifice. We didn't do anything. The ball's in our court.
So you're hearing that. You, as a fan, as a New York Knicks fan, you're hearing that. And you're saying to yourself, what is going on in that locker room right now for him to say that? Now, granted, just last week, we were on a 9-game win streak. Roll into OKC, we get our asses cooked in the fourth quarter, we lose. We go to Chicago, drop the ball in the second half. After being up 10, we lose. Come back home, you play a depleted Orlando Magic team, excuse me. And they beat you. Shock everybody and they beat you. Right? Now everything is peachy because you play your next game and everything is fun. You beat the Raptors, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is cool, the boys are back or whatever. Big test again. A revenge game. An opportunity to go ahead and beat a team that's over 500. Right? The only team that they've been able to beat consistently over 500 has been the Orlando Magic. And even a team with their best players, they still lost to. They still beat the Knicks with all their best players gone. Then again, you faced them last week. You have an opportunity yesterday to go ahead and get some revenge. Now with home court advantage on your side, and you get smoked the way that you did. So to the point where now Josh Hart is coming out and saying, yo, you can't worry about no individual agendas. We got to play our best basketball. Shout out to the GOAT, Stephen Marbury, who said, yo, they're not playing their type of basketball. Nobody else is following shots. Nobody else is forcing the extra pass. Nobody's spreading the floor like that. Everything is congested. Nobody's talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that these guys have been able to overcome. And during that 9-game win streak, it was always like that. Now, yes, granted, part of that 9-game win streak, we were facing teams that absolutely sucked. But to me, it's just like, if this is going to become a consistent thing where we can't beat teams that are over 500, then we're really going to have a problem in the playoffs. Again, I'm not crashing out because this was happening when guys like Randall was here, where we were going into December, January. I mean, not last year, because last year we went like 20-something and 5 in January, and we were going off, right? Then Randall gets hurt. Randall gets hurt the next month after that, and it was just never the same. My thing is, you got to be able to figure out something to where guys, our bench is thin. You got to be able to figure out where you can get more production out of our guys, whether Hakaporti's playing, whether the French kid, I can't really say his name right now because every time I mess up his full name. So the French kid that we drafted, where maybe Jacob Toppin is getting maybe like 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? put certain guys in there that are barely playing and that are going to, whether they're making an impact off the ball or whether they're doing something defensively, it's going to help you. It's going to be able to generate some better energy, and it's going to be able to give a break to these starters. Because listen, at the end of the day, yes, these guys are not playing well, but they also do look tired. And part of that is Tibbs. That's why a lot of these Knicks fans want Tibbs fired. I don't want Tibbs fired. Again, he's been able to get us consistently to a certain spot where that we haven't touched in a while. We got over the hump of not making the playoffs. We're a playoff team. My problem is what is going on in that locker room, or what is going on within the Knicks, I would say persona within Tibbs, within Jalen Brunson, within Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart. Like, I'll give you some stats right now that I think pissed me off last night, right? The Knicks shot 38% from the field. That's disgusting, right? You had 10 turnovers. Now, granted, OKC had more. They had 15, right? So that's not a problem, right? But turnovers, the reason why I bring those up, and you're like, Top, is only 10 turnovers compared to the 15 at OKC, granted. But the turnovers that are happening are stupid turnovers. Turnovers that you're like, yo, why are you even making that pass? You just caused a turnover. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you ready in your spots when the ball comes to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just losing the ball, and it really nothing has happened. There's no pressure on you. Like, stupid turnovers like that hurt the Knicks in so many ways. And I think even this part right here, where they only had 18 assists, cool, 7 steals, right, 3 blocks, 62 points in the paints, 12 fast breaks. There were a lot that they did that were more than what OKC did. And that was, and still, you're still wondering what the hell has happened. Another thing too, the bench points, like, it just shows how bad our bench is. The bench of OKC had 50 points and we only had 31. That literally shows how bad our bench is right now. And then obviously we were down 30 on this team, and that was it. That was all she wrote. But then you talk about our some of our star players, like Jalen Brunson had a fine game. He's 27 points, 5 assists, 1 rebound. He was 7 for 15 from the field. Cat had a nice game, 23 points, 1 assist, 10 rebounds, 9 for 16 from the field. Josh Hart had a solid game, double, 16 points, 2 assists, 13 rebounds. He was 6 from 13 from the field, so he could be much better from that. Then we go to OG Anunoby. Our 2 wings, right? Our wing stop. 4 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Then you look at Mikal Bridges. This is even worse. 0 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 0 of 9 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. Again, when you're counting on guys like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to do what they do on both sides of the ball, and they're playing like that, especially against teams that are leading their conference and that are great defensively and that can beat you off the dribble, shoot threes efficiently, and be able to move the ball at an effective rate. If you're playing like that, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill you. The Boston Celtics, a team like that is noticing that you're not scoring well, like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby were yesterday. Those are teams that are going to kill us, because yes, they shoot a lot of threes, but they move the ball well at a quick pace and an alarming pace, to where guys are being open, whether it's at the wing and the corner or at the top of the key, and they're able to either get their threes up or be able to move without the ball to get to their spots and try to score the ball to the basket. Teams like that are going to kill you. You need your best defenders who can also score to be consistent. And at the end of the day, you can't have Jalen Brunson taking half these damn shots. I'm sorry. Sorry. And it doesn't help that Cat is low-key still hurt. If you're watching the way he plays, he's still hurt. We need to be able to find an identity. And again, I'm not crashing out. But at some point, this whole notion that the Knicks can't beat teams that are over 500, it's gonna play a factor coming towards the end of the season, going into the playoffs, because we haven't played the Cavs yet, but they're a fucking problem. I don't care what anybody says. People are gonna say the Cavs are not who they think they are. The Cavs are playing well right now, but when it gets to the playoffs, at the end of the day, these brothers have found an identity right now, and it's working perfectly for them. The Knicks have an identity, but don't know when to apply it on a consistent basis. And teams that are bigger than them, teams that have more size than them, teams that are super young and know how to play well, they're going to exploit that. They're going to exploit the Knicks. At the end of the day, there needs to be more ball movement. Everybody needs to help each other out on defense. Everybody needs to wake up. Everybody needs to follow their shot. Everybody needs to space the floor. And everybody needs to play well off ball. And they got to trust each other. If those 8 things are not effective every game, we are going to be fucked. And come playoff time, it's going to hurt us. Again, we're going to make the playoffs. That we're going to win some games. We're going to lose some games. But there are certain things that we need to clean up as a team to where Josh Hart doesn't have to come out and say we need to let go of the individual agenda. Because that tells me that if that's the mindset, if it's all about egos and individual mindset, then we're not playing as a team. And we're not going to get nowhere as a team. I'm not saying trade Jalen Brunson. I'm not saying, yo, he got to move. All that notion that he's a 6 man with privilege and that they need to trade Jalen Brunson for De'Aaron Fox and that Jalen Brunson is not a true star and he's not a true point guard. Miss me with that shit. Because there are times when Jalen Brunson is passing the ball and he's racking up 9-10 assists a game and he's scoring the ball and scoring 20 plus and we're winning. It gives us a positive effect. Motherfuckers just don't like that because they try to nitpick certain negatives and they want to exploit the negatives more than the positives. So miss me with that shit. But yes, Jalen Brunson needs to be better as a point guard. Jalen Brunson, at the end of the day, yes, he's playing fine, but 5 assists for a point guard, to me, your assist needs to be higher. I love JB. I'm a huge JB fan. But you gotta hold them accountable to some degree because there are times if it's not even on the scoreboard. There are things with sports, with basketball, baseball, doesn't matter. There are certain things that you don't see on the stat pad that you see watching games. A lot of times he's just chucking the ball and he's just trying to score. And I get it. There are gonna be times where he needs to do that because other guys on the floor on his team are not scoring. But I need you to be more of a little bit of a facilitator, not just with Josh Hart. If you know you're gonna be able to score whenever you want, 27 points is an easy getter. I need you as a point guard to get everybody involved. But I ain't trying to trade Jalen Brunson or trying to or whatever. He needs to be here on this team for us to get to where we need to get to. And again, guys just need to be able to trust each other and be able to space the floor and follow with each other. Because the ball movement is dead. Nobody's helping each other out on defense, and we're getting killed. Absolutely killed. We gotta be better. We play the Bucks tomorrow. Again, another big team. Guys gotta be able to trust each other and play better on defense and just follow each other and just believe in each other. Because what Josh Hart said is very alarming, and it seems like everybody's just playing for themselves and not for the team, which I don't think is the case. But as of right now, that could be. It probably won't be the case going into the playoffs, but they've probably had a conversation. Josh Hart probably had a meeting with them and was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? What are we doing? But the boys got to wake up because we are going to start facing these good teams down the line in the schedule, and we need to beat them. Got to beat the teams. You got to take care of the teams that are easy pickings, but you got to beat teams that are on your level or higher than your level to be considered a true contender in this league. And that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. But with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys watching. This is another video from your boy Top, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out. Happy Saturday.